Hey everyone, this is Andrew Tompkins again. So, a year or so ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, I can't remember exactly when, I did a review of the Williams Allegro 3 keyboard. And that had served me very well. I will confess to you all that I did turn it in because it started getting a little heavy for me, as far as, porting it around and taking it around, because I still like to busk, play music at metro stations and like that. So I have in front of me the Williams Legato keyboard, the Williams Legato 3, and I will say that this is the winner as far as portability, sound, and I'd say even the key action on this one. Again, while it's not weighted, for those who probably know what the Williams Legato 3 is, you are sacrificing the key action as far as weighted. This is not a hammer action. It's definitely more of a synth action. But the unique thing with the Legato 3 that very few keyboards have is the fact that they're still piano style. Yamaha, like for example, the PSR EW series, the 310 and the 373 and like that, have non-weighted action, but they're also organ style keys. And so what I'm going to say up front is, and this is preference, so I'm not trying to say that organ style keys are bad, but I find that there is a gap. There's too much of a gap underneath on the organ action to where, let's say, you might have a little kid who is trying out this keyboard. And I would be afraid if they started playing on it and their fingers get stuck, or let's say a thumb gets underneath the key and they go to play, that key's going to crush their finger. So in one sense, that's not a great design for Yamaha, given that there's a big gap in the organ style keys. Whereas on the piano style, there's no gap. You literally cannot put your finger under the key to where it would get crushed. Not even a little kid could do it. So I'm just saying, the camera's probably not in great view, but just take my word for it. When I'm playing, the organ style, the piano style, I'm sorry, my fingers can't get in the way of the key. So, the main purpose of this video, though, is I wanted to do this a while back and never had the time, but I finally do now. I wanted to make a video of an app. One app in particular. I will be featuring other apps throughout, but one in particular. It's just called CMP. So like Charlie, Mike, Dog. CMP, Charlie, Mike, Papa. Grand Piano. It's made by, I want to say Crude Bite. It's the company. They came out with some fantastic sounding pianos. So for those who don't like or don't enjoy the default piano sound, there's a workaround. And this is what I wanted to demonstrate. So right now my iPod Touch is hooked up and I am using the CMP Grand Piano. Now, the sound that you're going to hear is supposed to be a concert grand piano. And in the description, it's an in-app purchase, so you do have to pay for it if you're getting it for the first time. But I think it's only like, when I got it, it was $9.99. That might change, so, just don't take my word on this one. But it's an in-app download you can get. and it's pretty realistic. They say it's based off of a Bechstein, I think it's how you say it, 190 or something around there. It's some number. But anyway, it's based off of a German concert grand, is what the description is. And I just want you guys to listen for a little bit. This is over the Williams Legato keyboard. Now, not to go on a tangent here, but this can be used as a MIDI controller, and that's exactly what I have it hooked up to right now, is my iPod Touch through USB. And yes, it is being used as a MIDI controller. So every note that I play over the keyboard, every note that you hear is being played over the keyboard, and the MIDI messages are obviously being sent to the app. So what I'm going to do, just to demonstrate first, is I'm going to go in. You will hear my voiceover program, so please excuse that. Oh, what's going on? 5:12 p.m. There we go. Okay. The app is open right now, so let me actually close it. And 5:12 p.m. We're going to compare. We're going to compare the default piano sound with the Concert Grand Piano from the app. So, I'm not sure what's going on with this iPod Touch. Landscape, Grand Piano, 0 bucks, app switcher, Grand Piano, Grand Portrait, pianos. There we go. The app's finally closed. Sorry for the technical glitches there. Okay, so now we're back on the default piano. So I turned local MIDI back on. It was off. So again, here's the default piano, and I'll mute my mic so you guys can understand or hear what I'm talking about. You won't hear all the key clicks and everything. Here's the default piano. Okay, that's the default piano. So what I'm now going to do is turn off local MIDI, and we'll hear a little tone to confirm it. So those two little bing bing tells me that local control is off. And I have to commend Williams for this. And I point this out because very few keyboards actually give me audible feedback. There's some. Some certain Casio models will beep, make one beep sound to confirm its setting's on, and then another beep to confirm it's off. But I like how Williams is approaching it. It beeps once to tell me it's on, and beeps twice to tell me it's off. So I just think that's a very clever approach. So thank you, Williams, for that. So what we're going to do is I'll go back into my iPod Touch, and we're going to open the Grand Piano app back up. Heading. Megaphone. Music. Page 2. Settings. Page 2. App Store. Okay, what's going on? Files. Page. Pianos folder. 11 apps. Pianos. Accordion. Garage Band. Grand Piano. Here we go. Okay. Landscape. Grand Piano. 0 bucks. Sorry, this iPod Touch is actually not behaving itself today. I don't know why. Okay, but the app should be open. Yes. So, listen to this piano. I'm telling you, guys, this has expression. Even if you are playing on a non-weighted keyboard, I have got to I'm just going to play randomly, or maybe I will play a well-known song, but this is how much of a difference you can make this Williams keyboard sound just with this app alone. Here we go. So that was a little snippet of that concert grand. And one thing I'm also going to point out, now this might be a very picky thing, but I will say that I have confidence these samples in the app, I'm talking about the app, the CMP Grand Piano, is not looped. I have to conclude it's not looped because the sample, just this, I'm gonna maybe find, let's play this C here. I'm just kind of choosing a random note. This, yeah. Let's just hold out this C, and I want to hear if there's any kind of loop effect here. Any kind of loop, any kind of, like, oscillation that tells me this sample is just, many keyboards are going to have that. Let's see if this app does. I want you all, whoever's listening, watching this video, listen carefully. And in any of the comments, if people want to comment, I want to know if you hear any looping whatsoever. I'm going to maybe hold this out for 20 seconds or so. Here we go. And it's still decaying. Okay, then it quit. Okay, so that was almost a full 30 seconds that I held out that note. I'm going to try one more, and I'm going to do a low note this time. If any oscillation or looping occurs, it's actually more noticeable on the low notes. Let's hold that same note just an octave lower for the same length of time. Let's see. Here we go. I did not hear any looping. I don't know about you guys, but there was absolutely no weird pattern going on, no weird resample, then resample. This is how real this app is, this piano app by itself. And I was just so impressed by just the versatility of it and just everything about it. Once you hook this up via the iPod Touch and your Williams Legato or Williams Allegro, either one, you can make this instrument sound like it's $3,000 or up. And actually, since I, at least at the time of this video, am the only one in the house, I'm going to show you guys too that the speakers, now I know this may not be a very fair comparison, so you might, whoever's watching this video would have to find a decent speaker system, but let me just say, the speakers on the Williams Legato 3, in all honesty, are better than the Williams Allegro. And I say that because there's more bass output on these speakers, on the Legato. If you were sitting in this room with me in front of the Williams Legato, that's where you would really get the full benefit. And I know recording it over my laptop may not do justice to these speakers, but I just want you guys to hear the volume. I'm going to play just maybe 2 chords at max volume. And I want you guys to hear for yourselves how loud this thing is. And again, I'm still using the app. And the app, guys, is at half volume right now. My Williams Allegro, the keyboard itself is turned all the way up. But this is the app at half volume. I mean, that is loud. That distorted the speakers, I would say, right there. So, and that's at half volume of the app. Ridiculous, right? This is why I like to use this keyboard for a busking keyboard. In fact, I will turn it down. I mean, absolutely crazy loud from the speakers. So that's another reason why I absolutely love this keyboard as a busking keyboard. Because despite the weight, despite the lightness, the slimness of it, and yes, the fact they're non-weighted keys and everything, it still is playable. And that's really what I wanted to prove to you all. So that was the CMP Grand Piano app. What I'm going to do is feature another app that I've been wanting to, review on other videos, and I hadn't had a chance to. So let's wake up the iPod, and we'll go into it. Landscape, 5:24 p.m. Grand Piano, $0. Again, you are hearing voiceover from the iPod, and it's still not working the best. Accordion, Williams piano, adjuster, module, SampleTank. Here we go. So the next app I wanted to feature here, at least a little bit, is called SampleTank. Now, I know there's been reviews of SampleTank done on YouTube. So it's got to load. Just give it a couple seconds. But there's some really good pianos in this one, too. Okay, so the app is finally open. Electric Ritz 12. Let's see. 70%. Link. App is PHP. Question. Multi. 1. App is PHP. Question. Yeah, I do need to go through some of the menus, so again, just excuse the voiceover here. Button off. Recording browser off. Select 1. Part. Rock B. Button. Part 1. Button. Part. Rock B. Button. Rock B. Okay. Link. Image. Close. Come on. I'm trying to bring up the categories. Rock B. Button. Part 1. Select. Selected. Rock B. Vertical scroll bar. Pattern. What is going on? This iPod is being very weird today. Chorus rock. Key clip B. Chorus rock B. Question mark. Melt 1. Selected. Recording browser off. Button off. 1. Part. 65%. 60%. Rock B. Button. Rock. Categories. There we go. I was trying to bring up the category pane, and it was not letting me. Okay. Libraries. Categories. Heading. Libraries. Back button. Libraries. Back button. Come on. My word. Sonic synth. Button. Sonic synth. Button. Here's what I wanted. Button. Bass. Guitar. Piano. Button. 7 grand piano. Selected. Here we go. So I've selected a sound. They call it 7 grand. I guess they meant 7-foot grand piano or something around there. This is another excellent piano patch, I think, in SampleTank. So I'll just kind of play a little bit randomly again just to show you guys how awesome this really is. And this could be good for like rock, jazz. I don't know so much about classical, to be honest, but certainly the more pop, rock, and jazz, more modern kind of music as well would be great for this. So just give this a listen. This is the 7-foot grand piano. I will point out before I play, just to give you background real quick, SampleTank is another workstation app. For those who don't know, it's made by IK Multimedia, and they excuse me, they have you know, obviously a bunch of apps there, and they even do have MIDI controllers specifically as companions to SampleTank. But the Williams works just fine with it, and it's 88 keys. So it still allows me to play full-on piano music. Okay, so the sonic synth category, again, just like the other app, is an in-app download. You will need to pay for it. I think it's $24.99 for each of the libraries that it doesn't come with. But I'm gonna tell you guys, it's worth it. It's worth this library. When you hear this 7-foot piano, it's pretty sick sounding. So I'm gonna just play a little bit and just show it off here, so you guys can really hear what it sounds like. All right, so there was my little old-time rock and roll kind of song there. Now the samples on these are a little different, and I want to say it's not noticeable unless you really listen, but there is a tiny bit of looping here. I really do mean a tiny bit, though. If I hold, let's say this, I'm going to hold an A, the note A, kind of this octave here. Yeah, see, that's where the loop starts. Right here. There is a loop there. But it doesn't occur until long after, like maybe 5 or 6 seconds after the note. So, even with that, I could end a song like I just did. Hold it out. And then release. And you wouldn't even notice a loop. So, you make up for even the ones with loops in the sample because the pianos have way more expression. So guys, my bottom line in demonstrating all this and explaining all this is you don't have to go with the built-in piano sounds. The default piano sounds on the Williams Allegro or Legato, because they both do use the same custom sound library that Williams develops. Now, anybody who runs across this video who works in collaboration with Williams, I am not trying to come out and say your sounds are bad. And I'm not trying to come out and say that no one should ever use your sounds. But what I am saying is that for people who don't particularly like them, there's still a workaround. They don't have to get rid of this keyboard completely. Most folks, I'm sure, would probably be like, oh, this sound stinks, or all this sound stinks, so I'm going to turn the keyboard in. And, and just risk getting a more expensive one. If you have an iOS device, and you're willing to pay a little bit, You know, $24.99 or $9.99 for some of the app purchases and like that. It's worth it. Because these pianos, just, I can start from real soft Okay, I will confess there was some dynamic jumps there from like right here, real soft to to that. But even so, you can still start from, the soft to kind of medium level and then get louder and louder. Yeah. And let me point out too that for someone, especially somebody like myself, and actually another, I don't want to give names directly, but it's a channel name. I think was KM Keyboard Vault, something around there. They strike me as a person who loves ragtime, old time, like jazz ragtime music kind of thing. I think this Williams Legato is even more suited for that than the Allegro. Because if you ask me, if you want to play very fast or repetitive notes, like, let's see, I'll just kind of make something up here, but something like if you're doing a trill, like that. This thing responds lightning quick. I mean, there if there was anything that stuttered, it was very slight. So if I'm doing like this really cool kind of intro, yeah, something like that would be totally cool. And actually, that reminds me, there's one last sound I want to actually show off. But that worked too, actually. The 7-foot Grand responded well to that. But there's another piano in this app. Again, we're talking SampleTank. This is cool. They call it Ragtime Tack Piano. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it up.
7 Grand Piano CH.
So I'm actually, yes, I'm still in the category list.
7 Grand Piano. 7 Ragtime Tack Piano.
Ragtime there it is. Ragtime Tack Piano. Don't mind voiceover, it mispronounces it, but
selected. Ragtime Tack Piano.
It says piano. Well, anyways, this is, I played that little Virginia Reel kind of dance there just now. Well, this would be even better for it because it has that old saloon type of sound. So anybody who knows about saloon pianos and like that, those real old, like, uprights kind of thing, this has that sound. So I'm actually going to go ahead and turn off my microphone so you guys can hear its full, full nuances here. So here we go. I'll kind of maybe play that same piece again. I love it. I mean, that is one of my favorites. favorite sounds in the whole SampleTank app, to be honest. I've used this at the nursing homes I've played at. Everybody loves it. So, I mean, this is just a lot of fun, guys. And I really, again, my main purpose is just to demonstrate that there are apps out there and sound patches that, you know, can really bring out the Williams as a keyboard. Even if you're not using their built-in sounds, there's apps out there. And I'm just scratching the surface, folks. If anyone's interested to know about other apps, I actually have a few more I could do reviews on when I've got more time on me. But there is one app actually called Colossus Piano, and of course, as the name suggests, it's a pretty big app as far as memory capacity. If you even think plan on using this, you might want to set aside, I'd say, 35 to 40 gigs of space on the device you plan to use it on, because that app, if you get the built-in, well, it's not built-in actually, but if you get the Concert Grand Piano, their Concert Grand Piano, that sound by itself, and I'm not kidding, guys, that sound by itself is 14 gigabytes. But this means that you get every last nuance of the piano. You get key off sounds, hammer noise, damper noise, everything. And I even think, according to their description, there's 24 velocity layers. That's with the one sound, the Concert Grand and the Colossus Piano app. Pretty insane. But obviously that's also why it's a big memory capacity, because the fact that it has all those detail nuances to it. But I'm pretty happy with the CMP piano as well. So, anyhow, I hope you guys found this video instructive. I hope you guys really have a sense now of why I really like this Williams Legato. I have not had a chance to busk in a little bit because, since the pandemic and the weather, at least in my area, has been all over the place. We've had some nice days, but a lot of cold ones. I'm hoping to bring this out more and just use some of these apps to my advantage. It does mean carrying around extra equipment, I'll be honest. If anyone out there really wants to minimize, weight and everything, then you probably would be better off just using the built-in sounds of the Williams. But if you're willing to pay a little, like I said, pay a little extra for some much better, much realistic piano sounds, it's definitely worth getting some of these apps. I'll be sure to put in my description all the apps that I have used and own currently on my iPod right now. So, again, hope you guys found this video instructive. Please feel free to comment. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Just know as well that I am not being endorsed to do these videos. I'm doing this out of pure passion for the products and sort of my heart to review it, to talk about it, and just help others make an informed choice whether this is the right piano for them or not. One last thing. I do want to mention, I understand the people who want to help direct. And I totally get that. Regardless of whether you're saying get this piano or don't get this piano. But what I just don't appreciate, and I've said this earlier, but I don't appreciate all negatives. Or, saying that the product is a piece of crap. Or, something around those lines. Like, oh, I wish I had something good to say about it, but I don't. Comments like that, just it is disrespectful for the company when you come out with something like that. I'm not saying that people are not entitled to their opinions. Everybody is. Everyone is. And everyone has their opinion. Everyone has their preference, I should say. But again, I've said this time and time again. Please just, try to minimize negatives if you can. And if you don't like a product to that extent, just return it and don't get it again. But don't discourage others from buying it as well. If there's a downright flaw in the product, okay, they need to know that. And I will point out, too, that this Williams, the Legato in particular, does have some unwanted wiggle to the keys, at least on the black ones. There is some unwanted wiggle in the key. But if you're just playing it, I'll put on the app one more time. It still responds to every key. And especially with the repetitive passages, things like that, the key wiggle doesn't matter to me. So I'm just saying that if you are just playing it as an average person, why worry about it? Because it's not affecting me. And, so I'm just trying to say that unless you are absolutely picky about the physical aspects of the keys, then don't worry about it. And I also will point out, too, I really do mean this will be the last thing before I go here, but when it comes to portability and transporting this keyboard, the non-weighted action for me is actually better, because when I have been traveling, I take the metro, the DC metro, the bus system throughout my local county, and like that, I'm taking it on and off buses, on and off trains, constantly picking it up and putting it down. There's a lot of movement going on. And I just really believe that the non-weighted action, especially if you're going to be traveling quite a lot, or even taking it in and out of the car when you drive, for those who can drive, non-weighted action is really going to serve better in the long run, because they certainly strike me as tougher. You don't have the hammer mechanisms in the keys to actually deteriorate. Because what I have found on my previous Yamaha DGX 670, I only traveled maybe twice with that keyboard. And out of those times, already there was noticeable key deterioration. Like some of the white keys especially actually started getting stiff. They started getting stiff. They started to stick. There was a lot of unwanted resistance, because I think the hammer mechanisms got, messed up from me lifting it up so much and putting it down and picking it back up and all that stuff. Those keyboards really, they might market them as portable grands, but let me say, they're not meant to be. They really weren't built to be ported around a lot. Whereas this Williams and the two Casio keyboards that I have most certainly would do fine being taken around with me. So, anyways, I do hope you found this video useful to help you make a good decision as to which keyboard to get. And I hope to make more videos in the future. Can't promise anything, but I finally had the time today and this week and this month to do a lengthy review that I've been wanting to do for a while. So it is Super Bowl Sunday at this recording, so we'll see which team wins, I suppose. But have a great rest of the month and the week and the year, and I'll see you guys in my next video.